Hey all, John Bellamy here. Hey, I wanted to record this video for you just talking about a marketing campaign calculator, a cost calculator, because I've been running a lot of webinars of late, speaking to a lot of people, and I know as small business owners, this is one of the things that quite often I'm finding anyway gets overlooked when making some decisions. So I just wanted to, take some time and run through this calculator. Like I said, I literally just jumped off a webinar with the US just before this video that I'm recording now. So I wanted to walk this through with you. So what we're going to do is we're sort of going to start with the end game in mind here. So whenever you're speaking with an agency to work with, a coach, whatever it might be, or even just working out where you're going to allocate your ad spend, you really need to be thinking about, okay, well, what's the return on investment? And there's many different ways that you could look at this, but typically the way that I run through this with my clients is what we look at is what is the first year's annualized client value. So if I was to bring on a new client as maybe a local service-based business, maybe a gym, maybe a manufacturing business, whatever that might be specifically in your case, what is a new client worth to me annualized in that first year? So what we want to do is we want to go and put this in here. So let's just hypothetically say it's $7,500, okay? So a new client, whether they give that to me upfront for the full year, they make multiple transactions through the year, whatever that is, their value to me is $7,500 in revenue for that year. So we've got a target in mind, okay? Now, if we come back and if we have a look at our sales process and we go, okay, cool, how many people do we need to get in front of? How many people then do we develop conversations with? And then how many sales calls, etc. So hypothetically, let's just say that we're using something like LinkedIn, maybe we're doing some Facebook ads, whatever it is, but let's email campaigns, whatever that looks like. But in this case, let's just talk about LinkedIn, okay? So with LinkedIn, you can send roughly around 100 targeted connection requests per week, okay, from that aspect. So let's just say we had 4 weeks off a year and everything, so we sent 4,800 connection requests per annum from that perspective. And what we were banking on, okay, out of those 4,800, how many of those people or 4,800 views, how many people then accepted that view or engaged with us, became a connection, in this case with LinkedIn? Let's just say it was 1,500. So we're sitting at around about 31%. Okay, so great. Now I want you to think of that number. We've got 31% or 1,500 people. Now, if we are now following up those people, so we've got 1,500 people in our database, and now we are going to follow up with those people. Maybe we're going to make a phone call. Maybe we're going to send a message on the LinkedIn platform. Maybe we're going to be doing some social media posts. Maybe we're also sending them an email or something like that as well. So we're doing all of these activities, these things throughout the year. And what we are now looking to do is see how many people actually engage and start to respond or engage in our messages. So let's just say it was 10% for real simple numbers here. Let's just say it's 150 of those 1,500 that accepted. Now 150 people are starting to engage in our process, okay? Now, out of those 150, that's just initial engagements. What we're now looking at is positive responses where we're starting to get a two-way conversation with these prospects in mind. And let's just say out of that, I don't know, heck, let's just say it's 60. Okay, so we had a 40% positive engagement rate from those conversations. So we've worked those conversations. We've put the time and energy in, okay, from those conversations. Out of those 60 people, now we're working with them. And what we're looking at is maybe we get out of those 60, maybe let's just say we get 42 of them onto a sales call. Okay, so from 60, we get 42 to a sales call, whatever that number might be for you. But in this example, is that. And then out of those 42, let's just say that, I don't know, we converted 15. Okay, so we had a 35% conversion rate from sales call to actual client. Okay, so what we're now looking at, we haven't even put the investment into this solution yet, but what we're now looking at is we've gone, if we start right back at the beginning, we've had an annualized client value of $7,500 in first year revenue. We know that we're now trying to get our message in front of 4,800 people, of which 1,500 are now in front of our database that we can start to market to they're engaging with us. From those 1,500, we've developed 150 conversations, responses. From those 150, we're getting two-way conversations or positive responses out of 60. Those 60, 42 have gone into a sales call. Out of those 42, we've converted 15. That's now given us $112,000 in first year annualized revenue from those clients. Okay. Now, whatever that looks like for you right now, that could be really, really good. It could be really, really bad, right? This is an example. You're going to run these numbers yourself. Okay. But it is a figure that we've got to work with. Now, what we need to overthink about now is going, okay, well, how much money, time are we engaging people, whatever that might be? How much investment are we putting into this marketing strategy specifically? So for example, we're talking LinkedIn here. So if you were working with me, we've obviously got fees on that. You might need Sales Navigator in there and all of those things. So just for round figures, okay, and you can find out this for yourself, but let's just hypothetically say it was $10,000 was your investment for the year, okay? What we're now looking at, if we go back into each of these columns, we can start to see some money. And this is the really important thing when we start looking at the math. I cannot stress this enough. Okay, so now if we have a look at these connection statistics, remember how we reached out to 4,800 people, of which 1,500 accepted, so 31%. So now we've got a cost of contact in our database of $6.67, okay? Super important, okay, because those people are in our ecosystem, okay? Whether they buy from us today, this week, next 3 months, 2 years from now, or never, where it's cost us to acquire their attention, okay, of $6.67. Furthermore, if we now overlay that back into the responses, it's costing us $166, okay, for the cost of conversation. If we look at that in the sales statistics, it's costing us $666.67 to acquire a new client. Okay, from that, and what we're seeing here is that ROI is essentially, 1,100% return on investment. Okay, from that perspective. So we've put $1 in and we've got that return. So what I want you to think about and why I'm sharing this with you, regardless, I'm using this example from a LinkedIn perspective right now. Regardless if it was LinkedIn, if it was Facebook ads, if it was email, whatever the marketing strategy, tactic, whatever you want to call it, objective that you're looking at, this is a very simple way where you can invest 5 minutes up front and go, okay, well, what would be the ideal situation? What does this methodology look like in order for us to get that return on investment? Now, I can pretty confidently say that if you're going to invest $10,000 and it generated 112 grand in revenue over a 12-month period, I think you would probably be open to doing that. And honestly, if you're not open to doing that, quite frankly, you got rocks in your head, as far as I'm concerned. So that's something that you just want to be looking at. But what I want you to do is just, once again, this is a process. This is an exercise of understanding the math, okay? Utilizing the math to make real life decisions in your business, okay? Because that's it. As a small business owner, our job, just like as a big corporate, our job is to acquire customers. We are in the business of buying customers profitably. Okay. So this is where calculators like this are really useful and really handy for you. Okay. So I just wanted to share that with you. What are some actions that you can take right now? Well, the most obvious action would be, how do I get my copy of this calculator? And then how do we go through and start utilizing it ourselves, et cetera, et cetera. So if you would like a copy of this calculator, all you need to do is one of a couple of things, wherever you're watching this video, right? If this video is on a landing page, just click the button there and request a copy of it. If you're watching this online, just comment below and just go, hey, John, send me a copy of the video. Heck, whatever that is, or just reach out to me on LinkedIn or something like that. But if you'd like a copy, just let me know and we will give you a copy of this calculator. So I hope this video has been of value for you. I really cannot stress the importance of getting the math right, because at the end of the day, if the math doesn't add up, you shouldn't really be investing in that marketing activity from that perspective. It's John Bellamy here. Trust you found that of value. Talk to you again real soon. Bye for now.